Close your eyes and allow your body to settle into the position that has become familiar across these explorations. Inhale deeply and slowly exhale, returning to the solid ground beneath you, the flowing adaptability that moves around resistance, and the settled alertness that remains available even when pressure rises. All three layers remain present. Each continues to support what comes next. And then the thought occurs that this new way of being unfolds perfectly in its own natural timing. With those capacities now integrated, a further refinement begins to appear. Picture clearly in your mind's eye the same path you have been walking. The ground remains solid. The water-like movement continues to find its way. The intensity of direct engagement can still be met with balanced presence. Now notice how the tools themselves, the brush, the longer sword, the shorter blade, begin to feel less like separate objects requiring conscious choice and more like natural extensions of the same movement. The decision of which to use no longer passes through lengthy deliberation. It arises directly from what the situation is actually asking for in this moment. The realization forms that stillness is the natural state, and everything else simply passes through. Experience yourself moving along the path with this quality of direct responsiveness. A challenge appears. The appropriate response forms without the need to rehearse options or remind yourself of principles. The principle has already become part of the movement itself. What was once practiced deliberately, step by step, with conscious attention to form and timing, now operates beneath the level of effortful thought. The preparation has done its work. What remains is the living expression of that preparation, meeting the present moment. It all becomes obvious that every challenge already carries within it the exact resources needed. Feel the difference between technique that must still be remembered and capability that simply expresses itself. In the early stages of any new skill, conscious attention is required for every element. The stance, the grip, the timing, the reading of distance, all must be held in awareness. Over time, and with sufficient repetition, these elements integrate. They no longer occupy the foreground of attention. They continue to operate, often more cleanly than before, while conscious awareness is freed to focus on the unique aspects of the current situation that cannot be reduced to prior patterns. A gentle awareness begins to emerge, that complete power to shape the inner world rests here and now. And then notice how naturally the mind aligns with the outcomes most deeply desired. In your mind's eye, see yourself facing a situation that once would have required careful, step-by-step application of learned methods. Perhaps it is a complex negotiation with shifting dynamics. Perhaps it is a creative problem where the next step is not obvious. Perhaps it is a leadership moment where multiple people and competing priorities are present. Feel the old pattern of reaching for remembered techniques. Then, feel what becomes possible when those techniques have already become transparent. The reading of the situation happens directly. The response forms without interference from the part of the mind that is still trying to manage or control. Action and understanding move together as one movement. The idea presents itself that true confidence flows effortlessly from the core. Notice the quality of proper distance that now belongs to the experience. In physical engagement, proper distance means being close enough to influence and far enough to maintain perspective and safety. The same principle applies to psychological, temporal, and strategic distance. Close enough to care and engage fully. Far enough to see clearly without being overwhelmed or pulled off center. In the visualization, feel yourself adjusting this distance continuously and automatically. When the situation calls for deeper involvement increases. When perspective is needed, perspective returns. The adjustment happens without conscious calculation because the capacity for it has already been developed through the earlier layers. Suddenly it dawns that old patterns hold no power unless chosen otherwise. Experience the integration of qualities that once seemed contradictory, determination and calm existing in the same moment, responsiveness and lack of bias operating together, full engagement paired with genuine detachment from any particular outcome. These are not compromises or trade-offs. They are complementary aspects of the same coherent response. Determination supplies the energy and commitment. Calm supplies the clarity and accuracy. Responsiveness allows adaptation to what is actually arising. Lack of bias prevents distortion by preference or expectation. All of them together create action that fits the situation rather than forcing the situation to fit a predetermined plan. Awareness expands, recognizing attention as the most powerful tool at command. In a future moment that carries weight for you, feel the uncertainty that is always present in real engagement. New information arrives that was not anticipated. The other party or the circumstances shift in ways that could not have been scripted. The old response might have been to tighten control, to push harder for the original plan, or to hesitate while searching for certainty that will not come. Feel instead the capacity to dance with what is actually present. The solid ground remains. The flowing adaptability remains. The settled alertness under pressure remains. All of it now serves the direct meeting of whatever arises, without the need to first eliminate uncertainty or force circumstances into a more comfortable shape. It becomes evident that the next version of self steps forward naturally. Notice how this quality of natural action changes the relationship to both success and setback. When action arises directly from integrated capability rather than from effortful management of technique, the outcome, whatever it is, becomes information rather than identity. A result that advances the larger direction is received cleanly, A result that requires adjustment is also received cleanly. Neither outcome disrupts the underlying presence, because that presence no longer depends on proving itself through any single moment. The path continues. The movement continues. The learning continues. And then, sense how deeply aligned actions now feel with highest values. Return for a moment to the breath. Inhale deeply and slowly exhale. The layers that have been explored, foundation, flow, pressure, and now natural action, do not replace one another. They accumulate. Each new capacity rests upon and is supported by the ones that came before. The solid ground makes flexible movement safe. The flexible movement makes pressure manageable. The capacity to meet pressure with settled alertness makes natural action possible. All of it together creates a way of engaging with life that grows more effective and more easeful over time. Knowing arises that resilience stands as the default response to any situation. In the quiet of this moment, feel the transparency of preparation that has already occurred. The principles are no longer something you must remember to apply. They have become the way you see, the way you move, the way you respond. This is not the end of development. It is the point at which development begins to express itself directly, rather than through conscious effort. The path ahead remains open. The capabilities continue to deepen through use. What has been built continues to serve. The awareness grows stronger that the inner voice speaks only truth and empowerment. Breathe once more and let the exhale carry away any remaining sense that mastery requires constant, conscious management. The integrated presence that has been developing is already here. It meets what arises. It adjusts as needed. It continues.